Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for discussion is how can project based learning be beneficial for students to express their viewpoints on the same. We have with us Ms. Pooja Sharma, Principal of Indore Public School, Eastern Campus. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. It's our great honor to have you here.
Thank you so much. Very good afternoon, everyone.
All right, ma'am. To start off with the session, I would, like to start with the very first question that we have is how is project-based learning helping educators worldwide?
A very simple yet a very deep question, I must say. See, learning, we all know what is, gathering information, getting it implied on in our everyday lives. So when you talk about project-based learning we do everyone does every day. We do it through our books, through our if you talk about the school education, through their classworks, through their homework, the practice works and all. But when you talk about the project-based learning, it is something that we expect a child to learn through various projects that the child is going to handle. Now, when you talk about projects, it's not only we're talking about something like science or some English projects or Hindi projects. The simple projects, when we talk about, these projects are the small activities that our children are supposed to do because they in turn are going to help them out in long run in developing the understanding with the real life situations. So project based learning definitely something very important and something very much required by all the educators across the globe.
Absolutely, ma'am. Coming to another question is it more effective than the traditional way of teaching?
I think this is a self answered question. Something rote learning, if you talk about the traditional way of teaching, that's rote learning. You're given a book, you have to just mug up everything and put it across on the answer sheet when the assessments are taken. And when you talk about a project based learning, you are actually practically going through that particular topic. So when you are going through that topic, definitely the understanding goes more. So project based learning any given day is much effective than the traditional way of learning. The more you practice, the more you do, the better you understand and the better you give out the results to everyone.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, ma'am, if you talk about project-based learning, I just want to understand what sort of projects, what sort of, projects that we can come up with and something because end of the day we have to be interactive, we have to be engaging, we have to be, thoda hatke out of the league also. So, ma'am, how and what sort of projects are we talking about or can we, come up with?
See, projects can be anything. If you talk about a curriculum that any kind of board gives, if you talk about any CBSE board, any ICSE board, any kind of a board that is governing body for the education. So if there are various topics that are given, and now it is up to us, the way when I said that a teacher can go give a lecture, ask cross questions, and the topic is done. And rather in the same way, the same kind of a topic can be given for project work as in it's a teamwork wherein a lot of students they come together and then maybe they'll have to either interact with themselves or others, present something, make up something, make a real life situation and understand that particular thing. So projects can be of various types, and just because of through these projects only the everyday small topics of including science, including literature, including mathematics, these can be easily make the child understand these topics easily.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, ma'am, if we talk about these projects, so is project learning based, feasible in India? Is it possible that we can have these learnings in India through the projects that we have?
Through see, honestly speaking, India, we definitely, there are a few schools who are practicing it. Some are trying to practice it because we are too much tied up with the curriculum, the completion, the deadline of the syllabus and everything. So when we are tied up with all these things, it becomes a little difficult. But if I say that no, it's not feasible, then I will be wrong. It is definitely feasible. It is just a slight modification that we need to do in our everyday pattern of teaching, the curriculum that we have. If we keep on doing that, then definitely it is feasible, and it is a wonderful way of teaching children, engaging them, and making them learn what we really want them to learn.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, could you just throw us some light on the fact that, since you clearly told us that we are tied up and packed with the curriculum that we are already following. So, ma'am, is there, I mean, if you suggest there could be any changes or, some mandates that could be added for a fact wherein we can have, these practical exposures to kids, because end of the day what I feel is now that we have entered into the modern era where everything is related to the skill sets that you impose. So what I feel is if something like this has been added to the CV of a student right from the beginning, I mean the moment he passes out the school, he or she, so is it that beneficial fact? So ma'am, how can we inculcate and get into those in our curriculum so that we are on the entire course of it and also being a part of it, active part of it?
See, I never said that we are not doing it. Okay, we are doing it, and the changes have been made. Yeah, we are a CBSE school. Even CBSE has proposed these changes since long, and CBSE also requires us to do such kind of projects. It is only that we are not able to do it to that extent, to that much. Definitely, something is being happening. It's just probably the classroom structure at certain schools. I would not say that all the schools are not doing it. There are a few schools across the globe, maybe due to shortage of resources, could be a reason. Just giving you a reason. I'm not commenting on that, that is one of the reasons. It could be a reason of shortage of resources, the kind of exposure or the kind of environment the children are coming from, that it becomes difficult. But it is not that it is not possible. And it's not so that the schools are not doing it. They are doing it. And yes, between a range of a few to many. That's how the projects are being taken care of. Schools these days, I think they are more focusing on a project based learning, because they understand that with this project base only we can grow better. Our children can learn better, I guess so.
Absolutely, ma'am. Because now that we have come into that generation which learns well when it's been given to them, not
Yes.
that being served on platter. So,
Yes.
ma'am, just wanted to understand. See, we are going, ahead in terms of education, where we have recently seen a shift from offline to online and then back to offline. So, ma'am, what are these research based, curriculum or the research based or the project based learning? Has helped? I mean, in which other ways can it branch out into the education system so that these students, because end of the day it's beneficial for both of them. Even the educators are into a new edge of learning again, and students are understanding a different perspective and a different way to understand the entire surroundings that they are being, rather than just like you said, the road learning or the traditional way of learning.
See, we as educators have seen a shift, as you just quoted. Okay, past 2 years, I guess not every one of the teacher was well acquainted with the digitalization. But now today you talk about the digital platforms they're using, the way they're using, the way they're sharing their content is something commendable. So even we have learned. And I think with the use of this technology only, this digitalization, many things can be created. Like you talk about a discussion of a very simple topic. Okay. The way normally the teacher would go is just go deliver, just ask a few questions, then start delivering the topic and give out the information to the students, the required information. But there could be an alternate way of doing the same topic. Just an example I'm quoting, say that's called the flipped classroom. What you could do through flipped classroom is the topic a day ahead could be distributed amongst the students, and they can be told to gather as much data as they want. Now, you see, when you tell the students to gather data, definitely they're going to Google it. And
Absolutely.
that's what they're doing at home also. Otherwise, also they're doing the same thing. Either they're using a YouTube platform, other kinds of such platforms, or Google, and they're getting the information. So any specific child in that particular topic gathers that much of information. And when next day the entire information is combined together, you would be surprised to see it is much more than one teacher delivering that particular topic. and the child feels very good, because he has this feeling that yes, now I know much more than on this topic than anybody else in my class. So this is one example. Now this is a group activity. It can be given in n number of ways. You can ask the children to prepare a project, prepare a ppt on particular topics, so they know how to work in a team. They know how to handle the peer pressure and everything, the language, the presentation, the confidence. So these are the various aspects that you really work on giving this one simple activity.
Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, to have what do you think are some ways through which educators can promote project-based learning? Like a simple example you've quoted. You can have a group of students who can prepare for a certain topic and come back to class another day, and then you have a plethora of every knowledge that you can conquer from each and every corner of the world, and that's how you discuss. So it's like giving you a sense of confidence that, oh, I know much more than a teacher does. So this is what a confidence, though it is not right, but yes, it kind of give you another kick to a fact that I know something and I've done something really well, just to promote that healthy way of learning. So what other ways can we have it, which promotes project based learning?
I think we can go with the role plays, discussions, as I said, giving them small acts wherein they need to act upon a particular thing. Because if they need to act or they need to present something, they need to gather information. And that's the sole motive of education, so that they are more informed, they are more vigilant on particular thing. So role plays, making, if you talk about today's era, they are more into the digital world. So they want to go for more of mobiles and more of the desktops, or the screen time rather, I should say. So why not encash that? Why
Absolutely.
not give them certain projects wherein they can actually use that particular time, not watching a cartoon or animation, but rather working for their own study. And obviously, we ourselves are more hooked up to a screen if you talk about it, and going through the books and all has really reduced a lot, although that's not a right thing that is happening. But yes, if you know there is a certain way these children are going, we should as educators encash that particular thing and give them such projects so that they can actually learn that.
Absolutely, ma'am. I don't know. Somehow I got an idea wherein you can have come make all the students come on a platform, a social media platform with the name of a school, and you can run those activities, telling them to make a reel, create a post, or maybe do something which can grab maximum attention, and you have to be creative at the same time. So
Yes,
again, I believe is this is the best way they can be off screen as well, because it takes a lot to be on
so
social
true.
media. It takes a lot to be present there and be equally good and be appreciated, because end of the day it's full of criticism. So we can this is probably one of the ways which we can be creative about, as well as reduce the screen time, is what I feel,
See,
because
you quoted something very lovely word right now speaking, that's criticism. Okay,
absolutely.
it's very important to learn how to take criticism when you're working in a project in a team. Okay, this is, I think, a very big quality that you learn, because you are between different kind of people who have their different abilities and capabilities. Something is better than you in something, and someone else is better than in something than you. So, and when you're presenting it, probably there's another group, maybe better or not so good as compared to your group. So you know how to take it. And when you start teaching these kind of qualities to your children from the school age, they definitely, when they grow up, when they're going to college, or when they're in the professional world, when they're entering, they definitely are in a position to handle that particular emotional stress in a better.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, ma'am, that's what. No, the entire purpose of, having it into a professional way or a based learning is to have that, practical understanding of what exactly the environment could be in the outside world. Because if I come and where I come from is an understanding where school is a very protective place, a very close space wherein it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to have a bad day, and it's okay to, get some thrashing from your student, your peer group, or from your teachers. So we are kind of used to those 40 people or maybe a group of people, wherein we understand that okay, today was a bad day, so I had a bad day, my teacher scolded me, and end of the day. So end of story. So each day used to go by that. But now that you have to, step out to a practical world, you have to understand a lot of skill sets. You need to imbibe a lot of skill sets. So these project based learnings can be a really great initiative and a good step wherein you are, into that some sort of an into that world wherein you're understanding, because of the deadline you have that pressure, because of the peers, maybe you not every time you get a group wherein everybody's understanding and getting your point. So again, the brainstorming session is another hassle, concluding to a topic, getting back to a project, and from ideation to the point where you're executing it and
Yes.
finally delivering it is what where we are, this is the main purpose and the hidden agenda of having a project based learning, wherein you handle, and probably different mindsets have different ways of understanding and dealing with the situation.
Yes.
So
And the
that
more minds you have, the more ideas you have. There is different insight to topic, single topic when you have n number of minds. At times we get to understand certain things which even we are not in a position to think, or our mind is not going to that direction. So that's how which comes to project. And if the accumulation of all these ideas, we are all grown ups, we are into a professional world, but when you talk about our children, we're making them into that, we are in the process of shaping them. And I think all these qualities are very much important for them to become a good human being, to become a very successful and a very emotionally stable human being, because one knows how to handle everything, and the one will only know until unless one is in a position to get
yeah,
along with everyone.
the
To
moment we throw them at the open ground is the moment they decide, okay, now I'm on my own, so I have to
yes,
figure out and do something which
yes.
is a little different, out of the box and out of your comfort zone as well.
Then only everybody works better when they are out of the comfort zone, because they want to, they just put in their all efforts, they are giving all their pressure to just come out and be again in their comfort zone, so they learn how to cross that non-comfort area.
Absolutely. And that push is just required at the very right time. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, thank you so much, ma'am. With that note, with that, the kick that's missing, which can come up with project based learning, is how, we are ending this session to a note. Thank you so very much, Pooja, ma'am. It was indeed a pleasure to have you here and have this little session wherein we're talking about how project based learning, can turn into something really good and insightful, and it could be a blessing to a lot of people who may fear the outside world and may fear how they will be able to deal with a new situation. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was immense, it was our immense pleasure to have you here. Looking forward to more sessions with you like this, ma'am,
Thank you
in
so much.
future.
Thank you, NTAP team, for having me and giving me a platform to share my views on the topic. And thanks a ton. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ma'am. Have a great evening, everyone. So do subscribe our channel, hit the bell icon for more notifications, like or share, whichever way you're comfortable with. I'll be coming up, promising you, I'll be coming up with much more insightful sessions like these and other activities that we come up with. Thank you so much and have a great evening.